Hello, bonjour, Alberta. Did you know that at least 238,000 people speak français in Alberta? And those numbers just keep on growing? Oui, oui, c'est vrai, it's true. And thanks to Shaw TV Community Access Programming, we get to reach out to everyone to let you know all about special people, places, events, and activities happening right here in this great province, in both English and en français. That's right, mes amis. We begin the first part of our program in English, and then we repeat it en français. So stay with us. Restez à l'écoute.
Hello, bonjour, Alberta. I'm Marc Lalonde.
And I'm Anne Boiteau.
And in our 12th season, we continue to celebrate the linguistic duality that is Canada and Alberta. And we also continue to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the twinning of the cities of Calgary and Quebec City. And we have another celebration in this episode. A couple of weeks ago, on November 16th, we had the Gala de la Francophonie. 26th. Thank you. I'm already being corrected here. This is great. At the Gala de la Francophonie, among other things, we recognize people who have contributed in an unusual way to advancing the interests of la Francophonie and making life in French interesting, specifically in the city of Calgary. And the top prize is called the prize Roger Lalonde, Champion of la Francophonie. And this is given out very rarely. Well, it's been given out regularly the last 3 years, but it's not for everyone. It's given out to people who have dedicated a very significant portion of their lives to being a spokesperson, to being a face of the Francophonie, and to advancing specific issues of interest. And in this episode, we're very pleased to have Michel St-Arnaud, who is named the recipient of this prize this year. Welcome, Michel.
Thanks for having me.
So what does it take to be a champion de la Francophonie? Let's have a look at your life right from the beginning up until now, and all the implications, so that people know what kind of people are involved in the community.
Yes.
Yeah. So where
are
you
you
born?
from?
Where are you from?
Before, and I'll get there, the short answer would be to follow the footsteps of your father, Roger.
Oh, yes.
This being said, I was born in Montreal, like you said, a long time ago, and then studied at University of Montreal, École Polytechnique. I'm a civil engineer. Got married shortly after graduating, three daughters. And
to somebody from Montreal as well?
Yep. And then parallel to that, I started giving some of my time, bénévolat.
Volunteer work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's back up just a little bit, because I've seen some of your photos.
You have.
As a young man, and
right.
You got into engineering, but you're always somebody that liked to be out doing things, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Some of your hobbies back when you were younger, and still
hobbies, quickly hobbies, tropical fish, breeding them, whatever. And that was a big part of my life. And singing, always been singing in choirs.
And you're still singing today.
That'll come up,
yes,
yeah.
I am. And then in those days, my sport, tennis was my favorite sport. And I did some swimming a lot. I was lifeguard for 2 years at St. Helens Island, south of Montreal, during my studies. So.
And you never went hunting with your brothers?
A little bit, fishing mostly.
Fishing. Oh,
hunting a little bit, but I was mostly a fisherman. We were raised in the Laurentians. There's 4 of us. I'm the oldest of 4.
Boys,
and
4 boys.
4 boys. And then we had our summers in the Laurentian north of Montreal. That's why we learned to fish, to swim, to whatever. So yes, I did that.
Okay, so you got your education, and you started work in Quebec.
Yeah, out of Montreal.
Yeah.
Covering, I was basically in technical sales. Well, the first 2 years you just do design and this type of thing.
Right.
But my career was oriented since those days towards industrial, commercial construction, project management. So I did that over there. And then, so parallel to that, I got involved. That's where I started volunteering. It was all French at that time over there.
Of course,
Here it was special. And I was on the school board there as a trustee for 2 years. 26 years old. I learned fast. And then I was the youngest in the area, I guess. And then I did that for 2 years. Pointe-aux-Trembles, east end of Montreal. And then there was another regional school board of 5 of the municipalities on the east end. So I sat on that board too as a trustee.
So what made you move out west?
Business.
Yeah.
I was approached by, I knew the few people from Calgary here that left organization they were with, and they were starting a new company, real estate developer, mostly on the industrial and commercial side of things. So they approached me, they wanted me to come here to manage their construction division. I said, no thank you. I refused offers before to move to Toronto that would almost double my salary of a young engineer. Happy in Quebec, family, and this type of thing. Well, 2 months after I was here with the family, so they put us in touch with the Francophonie and explained to us there's beautiful lakes, you have to go fishing. They took me by Bonavista Lake, okay.
Oh, yes.
And then this type of thing. So all this to say that I moved here, never looked back.
And you moved here in what year?
1972. It's going to be almost 45 years.
Wow.
The tallest building in these days in Calgary was Sheraton Hotel, I believe, 1 story higher than the Palliser. The tower was here.
Oh, yes.
Came a long way since.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
So
And,
the downtown was still as small as it is.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
So you knew about the Francophonie when you came here, which is unlike many people in Quebec or elsewhere in the world are kind of astonished to arrive here and find that there's actually quite a bit going on.
Yeah, well,
even,
I knew
even
that
back
from
then.
I knew that from talking to them when they wanted me to come here, but they really went out of their way. One of the many trips we came here for in 2 months, we sat with the Francophones, La Paroisse Sainte-Famille, for example, and the
Société
Franco-Canadienne and this type of thing. So I got to know these people, felt comfortable, and then I decided to get involved in La Francophonie.
And what did your family think of that back then?
There was pros and cons, but they always looked forward. My wife could manage pretty good in English, and the kids, well, they were 10, 7, and 2. So at that time, they're not too, they have friends and this type of thing. They never look back. They're still here, and everything has just been great. And what really got me involved, might be one of your next questions in the Francophonie.
Yes.
I'm anticipating. You won't believe this. There was no immersion or French schools in those days. There was a bilingual program, up to grade 3. I started 3 years before. My oldest is 10. She's in grade 4, so she's ahead.
Yeah.
Second one, grade 2, we got a maid. They refused her. She didn't speak English.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Really?
They explained to us the system was for English speaking to learn French, and okay. So we had them in the English schools, and then 6 months later the girls were bilingual, kids are picking up fast, and she joined the bilingual program. Came a long way with the immersion in the French schools and all this.
Yeah, and all of that, that's all.
So that
available now.
was one of the factors that got me to say, well, there's work to be done here.
Yeah.
So that's when I joined the Société Franco-Canadienne de Calgary. In those days, this was the La CFA Provinciale, the regional office, which is known today as La CFA Régionale. La Société Franco-Canadienne in these days were mandated to do what La CFA does today for a good 10, 15 years, I think. So I got involved there, ended up on the board, and I was chairman of the board probably in the 90s for a couple of years. And then parallel to that, after that, we started 2 things almost the same years. La Voix des Rocheuses, which is the French choir here. I was one of the founding members.
And you're still involved?
No. I left for a while, went to another choir, went back. I'm involved with another choir.
Oh, yes.
Our church choir.
All right.
So I'm no longer there.
Yeah.
And my wife was there too. And then from there, we also started Le Club Inter with your dad, Mark, who was the founding president, and I was one of the founding members. We were 65 in those days. And it was more like gathering people in the business world, because there was no Conseil de Développement Économique d'Alberta. There was before.
Yeah, so it was kind of precursor to that. Yeah, it was kind
Absolutely.
of a luncheon speaker kind of a venue, very much like the Canadian Club of Calgary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you were referring to le prix, le gala des... what's the name of the prize I just got?
Le prix Roger Lalonde,
Le
champion.
prix Roger Lalonde,
Champion
champion.
de la francophonie.
Roger Lalonde,
Yeah.
your dad,
Yeah.
was definitely the real champion of la francophonie. We know that. And he's been my mentor. And followed his footsteps as much as I could. Through the Club Inter mostly. That lasted good 30 years. We closed it about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was more of a social club at this stage of the game. So yeah, I got involved there. So both of Voix des Rocheuses and the Club Inter. And in those days, if I remember right, the presidents of the Francophone associations got together as sort of the founding committee of the Centre scolaire communautaire, la Cité des Rocheuses and École Marguerite Bourgeois. So I was part of the original group that got that idea going.
Yeah, that was pretty much everybody getting together to make that
Yes.
happen.
Yeah.
And it still took the better part of 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I did that, and most recently, then I was pretty busy business-wise. I've been sort of semi-retired or retired for the last 20 years. That gave me some free time. And then, well, compromising with the family, it's not
Yeah,
always...
as I recall, you probably rebuilt or renovated the houses of all your daughters.
Well, yeah, and as a matter of fact, I mentioned 3, but there's 7 of them, because that's my
Right.
second marriage.
Yes.
Monique is from Alberta, my present wife, from Legal, Alberta, at Préfontaine from there. And she had been a widow, had 4 girls, and we put all that together. So we have 7 daughters, and they're all living in Calgary, within 15 minutes drive of our place, believe it or not.
Nice, nice.
And 10 grandkids, so there we
10,
are.
eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I've added, about 6 years ago or so, the economic dimension to the Francophonie. That's when I joined the Conseil de développement économique de l'Alberta, sat on the board. I was chairman of the board for the last 3 years. I just left there in June or so. And then I was also representing Alberta, our group, at Rede Canada, which is the same economic development throughout Canada, all the provinces outside of Quebec. And so that's it. And very recently, I was
yes.
free because I left the Conseil de développement économique de l'Alberta in June. So they wanted some help on the board of CANAF. So Michel, so okay, yeah, let's see, think about it. I wanted to spend more time with the family and all that, and so I said yes. And the prize that I just got, yeah, the Champion de la Francophonie, I get my reward from helping, from contributing, and this is a real reward. The prize is nice, especially a name, Roger Lalonde, that I work with. But the one that has more merit to it, or the one that deserves it, is my wife. Because she's always understood or was a
Supported
champion
you.
herself of la Francophonie, and her contribution is to let me go. So always supporting me, and it's a lot of time. Compromising, you got to miss some family gatherings and this type of thing. She's always been supportive, so she deserves that prize more than I have to say that.
Yeah, well, and we'll have you back to talk about le CANAF. What does the CANAF stand for?
The Centre d'accueil des nouveaux arrivants, and I believe in French we say it's the Newcomers Welcoming Center.
Okay.
So it's basically
Yes.
refugees, immigrant,
Sure.
French, all francophone.
Yeah.
They need help to integrate themselves and direct them to this
Yes,
type
because
of thing.
in
New
especially
challenges.
in some of the trouble spots in the world, a language that they speak, that is one of Canada's official languages, is French, not English.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when they arrive here, they
Yeah. Over the
some
last
of them come here, yes.
6 years that they've been, it was formed in 2009, if I remember right. They held 5,000 new arrivals, like les nouveaux arrivants.
Newcomers.
Newcomers.
Wow,
Yeah.
5,000. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, all
quite
francophones.
important. Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
from Africa, Algeria, and there's even some France, Belgium.
Well, we've seen a number of them on
Yes.
Hello Bonjour Alberta.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
So it's brand new for me. I've been there for a couple of months. We have a good board and working hard. And
Okay.
here we go.
Well, we're out of time. That was absolutely wonderful, Michel. Thanks so much for joining us. We've been talking to Michel St-Arnaud, the winner of the Roger Lalonde Champion de la Francophonie Award for 2016. Again, thank you. And thanks to our volunteers. Thanks to you for watching. But stay with us. On continue en français.